Hello and welcome once again to an uncomfortably wet and dreary looking Sydney Motorsport Park. I'm Lance Robertson and this is the final round of the Swann Super Series for 2017. We've already had one championship run and won with the bikehaggle.com.au Superbikes, and now it's the turn of the Matrice Dampers Supersports and AM-Sport 600s. Both titles are at stake in this final round, and like round 5, the weather will play a huge part in who'll become our champions. So let's have a look at the points coming into the final round, and firstly, in the Supersports, Sam Lambert continues to hold onto his series lead over Callum Barker, but the gap has shrunk down to a mere 21 points. Hayden Spinks is mathematically still in the hunt, but would need a lot of bad luck going towards Lambert and Barker for the championship to swing towards him. Meanwhile, in the AM-Sport 600s, Jamie Aitken has a 30-point lead over former series leader Carl Kitson, and a further 21 ahead of Grant Davis. So as you can see, there's everything to play for and a lot to lose, especially in the Supersports.
I'm leading the championship quite comfortably, so I've got a tough weekend coming along to try and get these points wrapped up and get the championship, but the weather's looking kind of iffy for today's races, so I've got to try and be smart about it and not push too hard because I need to finish every race. So I just got to do my best and try and keep close to these boys in their wet conditions.
Yeah, it can either work in your favour or it can work against you, you know, but I've been in this situation a couple of years ago as well in the Moto 3 category, and you know, it's definitely a tough one with these conditions, but I'm looking pretty good. Probably definitely going to be wet because it's still damp out there from this morning, but yeah, we'll see what it comes from race 1 and go from there.
I'm sitting in third, but third and fourth are pretty close, so I'm going to have to do what I can to keep Simon behind me today, and then obviously work as hard as I can to catch the boys at the front, but they've got a little bit of a points gap on me, so I'm just going to do my best to maintain third in the championship because of the conditions today, but yeah, that's the best we can do, I think.
As you can see, there are 3 young men who are slightly anxious about what their fate belies in today's final round, which will decide who wins the 2017 Supersport crown. They, along with 29 other riders, are on the track right now, readying themselves for the first of 3 7-lap encounters. So, without further ado, here's the grid for the opening race. The first 3 rows consist of the Supersports, with championship leader Sam Lambert on pole and Hayden Spinks and Ryan Sellon alongside him. On row 2, it's Rhys Belling, Callum Barker and Simon Rees. And on the 3rd row, Jimmy Broadbent, who's also joined by Keith Feely. Grant Davis leads the AM-Sport 600 field off row 4, with Justin Case and Brad Glennon sharing the honours, whilst row 5 has our championship protagonists in Carl Kitson, Jamie Aitken and Brian Bolster starting alongside each other, with Adrian Pellegrin, Keith Mulcahy and Luke Rhodes occupying the 6th row.
Well, Lambert, Spinks and Davis on the front row of the grid. Who will it be that gets a whole shot at the end of the Swann Insurance Main Straight leading into Races World? Turn 1 for lap number 1. Getting a good start on the outside there was Lambert. But have a go at that rocket. Rhys Belling coming through from the 3rd row of the grid. Almost gets the whole shot, but it is our pole sitter Sam Lambert that will lead them down to turn 2 for the first time.
Yeah, Ryan Sellon's right there onto the back wheel of Sam Lambert. A great start by Ryan from the front row. Callum Barker's moved up to 3rd, maybe in the 2nd spot now. He maintains that 3rd position from the 2nd row of the grid.
Yeah, Rhys Belling was actually on row number 2, not row number 3. My apologies for that incorrect summation of it, but look at the way that Ryan Sellon has streaked the field in this early stage. Back in 2nd, Sam Lambert, as you mentioned. Callum Barker's up there with a chance as well in the early stages.
Yeah, Billing's just behind him doing double duties. We just saw Billing out in the Formula Oz Class 2 there, Lance. He's getting a lot of track time today.
And difference in machinery as well will certainly test the resolve. Oh, Callum Barker it is, I think, that is off, getting unstuck as he came out of turn number 4. Turn 5, I should say. That is the 2nd part of the Dunlop Sports Max entry.
Yeah, having difficulty getting that machine up there. We've lost someone else there, Lance, someone on a Kawasaki, number 60.
Is it number 60? Yes, I think it is number 60. Having problems there, that's Eddie Croker.
So we've lost 2 already on the first lap of the race.
No harm, no foul to either rider, just a little bit of damage to the bikes. Hopefully they'll be able to get them back up, but I think you'll find there is a red flag. Yes, there is. that will constitute a complete race restart, I would imagine, considering we haven't even finished half a lap, let alone a full lap. Let's have a look at a replay of what happened here. Callum Barker, we can see in the background there, is already off. Oh, he was very, very considerate of the bikebiz.com.au signage there, lifted his head up and just scraped the edge of the helmet on it without damaging it or himself. Our second man, oh my goodness me, that is a hard knock. Yes, he's certainly been pushed around a little bit there. In the starter's hands now for the second time of asking. This is the Matrice Dampers Supersport AM-Sport 600, and getting a cracker of a start was Sam Lambert, our pole sitter. He gets the whole shot down through Races World for the first time. Yeah, great start by Sam Lambert. We saw Ryan Sellen get a great start in the first instalment of this race, but not quite as good in run. Look at Jamie Aitken now coming around the outside. He's made up about 5 spots there coming into Races World Turn 1. Makes his way up into, I think, 7th place outright on that older model machine. Let's see what Ryan Sellen can do. He's the one in the red that's going around the outside in turn number 3. Bike number 61 is up there with a good chance as well. That's Rhys Belling. Yes, it's a good start by both those riders. Nothing separate. Sam Lambert hasn't pulled away. There's the number 322. That's Simon Rees on his Kawasaki. So an excellent start by him. Rather a cheeky manoeuvre in a precarious position. Oh, out of the saddle, one of the riders. Goodness me, look at them. 3 wide as they head up into bikebiz.com.au for the first of 6 laps. 7 laps, sorry. Jamie Aitken's got another couple of riders there, so it looks like Belling now has taken the lead. No, it looks Simon Rees has taken the lead from Sam Lambert. Here comes number 98. That's Grant Davis on his AM-Sport machine. So the AM-Sport's definitely levelling the field out in these weather conditions. Well, the weather conditions are levelling the field out more likely as they come down Ione Oils back straight and into Matrice Dampers. What an effort from Simon Rees on board his Castle Hill motorcycles, Kawasaki ZX 6R. Yes, the rain seems to be getting heavier and heavier. He lands at Sydney Motorsport Park, so a bit more treacherous for these riders, but look at them all go now. They've all negotiated lap number 1 this time around. So down the main straight we have Rees, followed across the line by Ryan Sellen on the Moto Hub Security Solutions Kawasaki ZX 6R. Right behind him, Sam Lambert, our pole sitter, the man that is actually running the Callum Spriggs Championship winning Yamaha R6. He's just been taken over on the inside by Grant Davis, doing a great job on board his PCR GASD ASBG West Sliders Kawasaki. So it's Kawasaki's 1, 2 and 3 at this stage. Yes, a good start there by Rees. He's coming right through the field now, and there's Davis around the outside of Sellen now, so he's moved up another position. Up into 2nd place and chasing Rees. Oh, geez, made every poster winner there. A little bit further back, we could see the number 96 of Jamie Aitken, the Yamaha R6, a rider that has certainly taken like a duck to water, to coin a phrase on a wet day like this, jumping from Kawasaki to Yamaha. Yeah, do you think that Sam Lambert now with Callum Barker out of the race, maybe riding a little bit more conservative to maintain his lead in the championship, because without Barker there, he's just going to improve that lead? As you mentioned a little bit earlier in the coverage of this race, Tim, it has started to rain a little bit harder. Rather than just being a vertical raindrop, it is now almost a 45-degree angle coming down the Swann Insurance main straight. Yes, in the direction of turn 1 as well, so they've been pushing the riders down. Oh, we've just it was lucky to stay on there. That was Grant Davis. Lucky to stay on there as he comes through Dunlop Sportsmax turn 4. Takes a lot of gumption to be able to continue on after a fright like that, doesn't it? Sam Lambert coming through, Jamie Aitken coming through, a battle royale behind them with Jimmy Broadbent, Spinks, Pellegrin and Kitson, that 5-way battle for the minor placings. Here's a replay of some of the action, including that almost high side by Grant Davis, just trying to get onto the gas a little bit early. You could see the back end broke away from it. He had to back off a little bit and then use his body weight with the leg hanging out there, trying to almost begging him to be able to stay onto the black stuff.
Yeah, lucky to stay on the track there was Grant Davis, but he's riding fantastic here at the moment, putting the pressure all over Rees on his the similar machine, but a little bit older.
Yeah, Simon Rees has certainly not backed off. I think you'll find that Grant Davis has actually grown a little bit of courage out of what happened over there in turn 3 on that last lap.
Bit of red mist under the visor there, Lance. But here we go as they cross the line with 4 laps remaining now.
At the half-race distance, it is Simon Rees that leads Grant Davis, Ryan Sellen. Then we have Belling, Lambert and Aitken rounding up your top 6.
Yes, almost identical times there by Rees and Davis that time around. A 150.8 for both of the riders. And a 150.9 for Belling in 4th place. So Belling's quicker than Sellen out in front. So let's see if he can move further up the field.
Up over the top of bikehaggle.com.au, down into Dunlop Sportsbacks on lap 4 of 7, half-race distance, and it is a battle royale for the race lead. Chasing him down on the 98 is Grant Davis, our race leader. Simon Rees on 322. Out of 5, up over the top of the hill, into turn 6, bikebiz.com.au. Davis tries the inside. No room there for the faint-hearted as Rees cuts him off.
Yeah, tried very hard then. Davis up the inside of Rees as they come through Bike Biz. Oh, we've lost another one of the riders. That's 168. So that's
I think you'll find that it's 468.
486. It would have been just in case.
Yes, just in case. Percy Jack Motorcycles Live Tools, the Yamaha R6. Unfortunately for just in case, he'll take no further part in this one.
Yeah, falling victim to the worsening conditions at the track at the moment.
Here's a replay of what happened by the looks of it. Just got in there a little bit too hot. Turn 5, got onto the gas just that momentary too early. Lucky the bike didn't collect him, and there will be no harm, no foul to either him or the machine. If he can get that started again, he may rejoin the race, Tim. In the meantime, Simon Rees still leading.
Simon leave there, but look at Grant Davis. He has not given up. With they'll have 2 laps when they cross the line next time around.
Up over the top of the hill towards bikebiz.com.au. This is an area of the circuit that Grant Davis has been very strong in over the last couple of laps. It looks like he's sizing him up. We've got somebody down.
No, it's one of the Yamaha R6s with the yellow livery, so he's got that bike straight up. Disgusted in himself there. You can see some gesticulation from the rider.
Needs to get that bike out of the road. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to restart it and get back into the race itself, but nevertheless get it out of the road so that we don't have a stoppage of the race. Our 2 front runners heading out of Matrice Dampers on lap 5 of 7. They'll cross the strike line and start their penultimate lap. Oh, that is Ryan Sellen, the 310. And unfortunately for him, it looks like he's injured enough that he'll need to have some assistance there. It is on the exit of turn 9, the beginning of the Ipan Oils back straight. I would speculate that will bring out the red flag. Looks like he was just a little bit winded and certainly disoriented.
Yep.
Getting out of the road, no problems at all now. Red flag out. 2 red flags in the one race. That will be a declaration, I'm sure, Tim.
Yep, that'll be right with Simon Rees having a great run there, but Grant Davis fastest lap of the race of 49.3.
And with the race declared after 5 laps of racing, it's Simon Rees that takes his maiden win in the Supersport class ahead of the leading AM-Sport rider, Grant Davis, with Reese Belling finishing 3rd. Sam Lambert retains his series lead with a creditable 4th ahead of James Aitken, Adrian Pellegrin, Hayden Spinks, Carl Kitson, Jimmy Broadbent and Brad Glennon, who completes the top 10.
Yeah, it sure was. It was pretty wet out there, and it started raining about halfway through and got slippery again, but had a good setup with the bike and plenty of fuel in the front end, and just managed the gap, and luckily the red flag came out not soon enough.
First and foremost, I forgot to thank my wife for coming out yesterday, so I have to give a big shout out to her. Hi Kylie, thank you very much for letting me spend all our money. Essentially, I don't know, I don't really like riding in the rain, but I'm half decent at it, so I just turn the bike, twist the throttle and try and stay on and not die.
Yeah, no, yesterday was complete different conditions, so it's going to take a while to get into today's rhythm. Starting off on 3rd though, hopefully it keeps going this way. 2 more steps to climb.
So with one race down and 2 to go in the final round of the Matrice Dampers Supersport and AM-Sport 600s, can Callum Barker bounce back from his opening race dramas in race 2? Join us after the break to find out. Thanks for joining us here at Sydney Motorsport Park for our continued final round coverage of the Swann Super Series, incorporating the Matrice Dampers Supersports and AM-Sport 600s. Riders are getting ready for the second of 3 races, and having the support of Matrice Dampers for this season has been a great platform for Shock Treatment Suspension, the national distributor, to promote this new brand that entered the market earlier this year. Shock Treatment's expertise from years of racing and on-track support is second to none, and today is no exception with the ever-changing conditions.
We've come here from years of being out in the racing series. It's been really good to be able to come out and use some of our experiences from multiple years of racing at the top end of the field. I've come here from racing Supersport, Superbike, Super Mono, Pro Twins, and also vintage racing, which has been able to give us a really broad spectrum of information about how motorcycles work and how to get the best setup for the track. Well, it makes it very easy for me to understand what they're talking about and what kind of things are out in the track. We still go out and have a look, see all the new issues and bumps and lines on the tracks as they're improving on the bikes as they go through today. Being able to understand what they're talking about when they're out in the tracks at the right points allows us to be able to get a better understanding on what we need to modify or change, either with the bike or the rider's abilities, to be able to get them to go a lot quicker and a lot easier.
Well, right now, conditions are still damp as the riders negotiate the Sydney Motorsport Park Gardner Grand Prix circuit for their mandatory 2 warm-up laps. This will make the choice of which bike and tyre setup more important than any other time in this championship for our key protagonists. So let's have a look at the grid for race number 2. Simon Rees will start this race from pole position, ahead of Reece Belling and Sam Lambert, whilst on row 2 we have Hayden Spinks, Jimmy Broadbent and Keith Feely. Ryan Sellen unfortunately has withdrawn his entry for the rest of the weekend, leaving Callum Barker all on his own on the 3rd row. Whilst Grant Davis heads the AM-Sport 600 field off row 4, ahead of Jamie Aitken and Adrian Pellegrin. Then it's the Kitsons on row 5 in Carl and Stewart, with Brad Glennon sandwiched between them. Whilst on the 6th row it's Keith Mulcahy, Daniel McCartan and Mary Molina.
Here we go with the Matrice Dampers Supersport AM-Sport 600 race 2, scheduled over 7 laps. In the starter's hands now, looking for a lightning start from Sam Lambert on the inside, the right-hand side of your screen, but getting the best of it there by the looks of it was Jimmy Broadbent on machine number 56 in the early stages. Did he manage to get out there in front? I don't think he did. I think you'll find that it is Hayden Spinks that leads going down into turn 1.
Yeah, I think even that Sam Lambert got the better of him as well there, Lance.
Okay.
So Sam is, no he hasn't, so Sam's still in 2nd spot. So he's dropped back a little bit, Hayden Spinks behind him.
So who is it that's actually really leading? Is that Belling that's out in front?
Belling, yes. It's getting some extra track time here after riding his bike in the Formula Oz class.
Well, he's used to the 600s, isn't he? It is Reece Belling that's leading, followed through then by Sam Lambert.
Yeah, we've got race 1 winner.
High side on the exit of turn 3. Could see it coming just before the rundown over bikebiz.com.au. Red flag on display. This will obviously bring into play the full race restart, because we haven't even completed 1 lap.
No, 1 lap not completed, but turn 3 once again taking a victim.
Here's a replay of what happened. Let's have a look at it. See, and the exit of turn 3, a bit too much power, a bit too early. Classic high side. Very embarrassing to watch this replay if you're that rider.
Yes, a lot of the accidents have been in the same sort of style, haven't they?
All in preparation for race 2 of 3 in the Matrice Dampers Supersport AM-Sport 600. Who will get the best of the start? Simon Rees starts well, so too does Grant Davis. Looking for the best of it though. Sam Lambert also gets a good one. The 47's up there. He's trying very hard also. And I think you'll find that it is Reece Belling. Yes, indeed. He gets the best of the start at the moment, heading down into turn number 2. He's under a bit of pressure from Sam Lambert, though. Although, look at Belling. He's got a good drive out of turn 2. And for the run around turn 3, this is where it gets tricky. The first of the right-handers. Will everybody get through quite comfortably this time, Tim?
Yes, hopefully they will there. Those 2 Yamahas followed by the 3 Kawasaki's of Reece, Spinks and Davis. Jamie Aitken's moved up a few positions as well.
Jamie Aitken, of course, being the leading contender in the AM-Sport 600, the older model 600s.
And Callum Barker's managed to stay on through that area where he pulled in, and has just been overtaken there by Jamie Aitken, it looked like.
Simon Reece up into 3rd place.
Yes, so the race 1 winner earlier today, so he's had a good start, and looks like he's having a big look up the inside of Sam Lambert as well on his Kawasaki there.
Oh, gingerly through Freight Transport for the start of the run down Ipo and Oil's back straight. Also coming into the fray is the number 98 of Grant Davis, who had a very poor start by comparison. Callum Barker on board machine number 47.
Yeah, Grant Davis took out the AM-Sport 600 class in instalment number 1. Callum Barker has only moved up 1 position, started in 8th position. Davis and Aitken moved up a few positions, so they're having a great ride at the moment.
There's Jamie Aitken on board his Yamaha at the back of that pack as they head out of Races World. Round the outside he goes and out breaks. I think you'll find that was
Grant Davis, I'm pretty sure it was. So he's moved up 1 position. There's Hayden Spinks in front of Jamie Aitken now. So Belling still leads with Reeves, Lambert, Spinks, Davis, Aitken, Barker.
Broadbent, Glennon, Pellegrin rounding up your top 10.
So Broadbent's performing pretty well. We've seen him usually ride a Kawasaki, but he's got a Yamaha for this weekend.
Jamie Aitken on board the blue Yamaha, chasing hard, looking at wanting to run down the 66, I think you'll find, of Hayden Spinks. Tries the outside line through turn 6, can't quite go on with it. That was pretty bold of him too, considering the wet conditions there. Round the outside in turn 7, up the inside of Spinks he goes, down into Freight Transport. Next in sight is the number 21 of Lambert, and Lambert looks over rather nervously over his shoulder and sees, what's this? I'm on one of the most modern bikes. In fact, I'm on the bike that won the championship. And here he is, an older model, older rider. Yes, he's got a little bit more experience in Jamie Aitken, chasing me down for a podium position.
Yeah, Jamie's had a great weekend, hasn't he, on that R6 Yamaha?
It's incredible to see the difference in the bikes and the style. Hayden Spinks gets back up in front of Jamie Aitken there by virtue of slipstreaming down the Swann Insurance main straight.
Yes, as the riders negotiate into Sydney Motorsport Park ride days there. Here's another replay of the overtaking manoeuvre with Jamie Aitken up the inside of Hayden Spinks. We have Davis behind them.
Hayden Spinks momentarily up the inside of Sam Lambert. Jamie Aitken gets good drive out of bikebiz.com.au around the back of Corporate Hill, side by side, heading down into the braking area. A good positioning there for Hayden Spinks to defend himself. Grant Davis in the meantime right behind Jamie Aitken, trying hard. So the 4 of them, little less than a breath between those 4 runners, and this is all battling it out for third, fourth, fifth and sixth place.
Yeah, a good battle there. There's Callum Barker at the back of this group, just trying to hang on to this battle for 3rd place on the podium.
Barker out of turn 12. He's got 4 riders in front of him there. He is still a realistic chance, Tim, of taking a podium finish in this one.
Yeah, he's closing down, you'd have to say, but Barker now is only What's that, 0.5 of a second behind the person at the back of this group, Grant Davis, and he's right onto him now.
Hayden Spinks up the inside of Sam Lambert. Lambert outbreaks him though down into 2. Here comes Jamie Aitken trying around the outside, and look at that, Hayden Spinks up the inside of Lambert. No opportunity there for Jamie Aitken to be able to follow through either.
Yeah, looks like Lambert ran a little bit wide there. It shows the pressure that's been put on him, and he'd be thinking about the championship as he came into this round leading.
In the meantime, though, it's Belling that's still just ahead of Rees. This is only on lap 4 of 7.
Yeah, so it's a great battle here out front between Belling and Rees at first and second spot.
Simon Rees trying very hard indeed to overcome the lead of Belling, but Belling has answered every challenge that's been thrown out to him so far. Having said that, up the inside in turn 9, can't do it. Had a good look over his shoulder, did Rees Belling. Here's a replay now of Hayden Spinks trying to get up the inside of Sam Lambert, and Jamie Aitken trying to get around the outside of Hayden Spinks. Lambert a little bit too wide, Spinks up the inside, and no room for Jamie Aitken to follow suit.
Yeah, Jamie's having a good ride at the moment there. So he's sitting in, what's that, 4th position. He's got in front of Sam Lambert now, so he's moved up 1.
Whilst we were looking at the replay, he's managed to overcome them all, and look at the gap that he's got now.
He's pulling a gap now in front of Sam Lambert, now chasing down Hayden Spinks, who's the green livered bike there, number 66 out in front. Here comes Barker as well, having a big look up the inside of Davis, so he moves up 1 position.
Rees Belling, Simon Rees, Hayden Spinks, Jamie Aitken, Sam Lambert, they're the top 5, and don't discount Grant Davis right behind them. Or Callum Barker, for that matter, now putting on a bit of a challenge for Sam Lambert.
Yeah, the two people battling. Oh, here comes Rees up the inside, but he's gone a little bit wide there, letting Belling back in front.
Belling on the outside, Rees on the inside. Belling gets the better racing line.
Yes, nearly out of the seat there is Belling. He's had a great weekend after racing in the Formula Odds as well, but here comes Rees. He's having a big look. Look at the track now, Lance. It looks like it's pretty much dry.
Here's a replay there of Simon Rees getting up the inside on the rundown bike, haggle.com.au into Dunlop Sportsback. He ran a little bit too wide. That allowed Belling to get up around the inside of him and get the better racing line through turn number 5.
Hayden Spinks still in 3rd spot.
Simon Rees, I thought, was going to try and challenge on the inside there, Tim, but decided not to. He knows that he's not going to win the race with a bold all-out manoeuvre in turn 2 with 1.5 or nearly 2 laps to go. Very strong through here, though. Down into Dunlop Sportsmax. He forces Rees Belling a little bit wide. Belling's got the inside line, though, through turn 5. Can't do it. Great effort there from Simon Rees. Both of them keeping on the black stuff, only just up into bikebiz.com.au.
Yeah, good manoeuvre there by Simon Rees on his Kawasaki in front of Belling. So still Hayden Spinks in 3rd spot, Aitken, Barker, Davis. Lambert's moved down to 7th spot.
He's dropped off the pace quite considerably, hasn't he?
He's maybe been a bit conservative for the championship points reason, because the only person that was really challenging him was Barker at the moment. So Barker's just in front by 2 spots.
Simon Rees went a little bit wide on the exit of Freight Links Transport. That opened up the opportunity for Rees Belling, and he's taken it with both arms as he heads through the final 2 turns of the circuit. Matrice Dampers, turn 11 and 12. Look at him cover his lines down into Dunlop Sportsmax. He knows he's been past there a few times, and Rees Belling very, very circumspect, making sure he covers himself. Simon Rees right behind him. He'll snap to the inside. Has he got enough mumbo up over into bikebiz.com? No is the answer to that, Tim.
No, Belling's holding spot very well, isn't he, at the moment, in 1st spot as they come around the tight left-hander, going into the very tight right-hander from Bike Biz.
Out of the bikebiz.com.au downhill section through Freight Links Transport for the last time. Simon Rees trying as hard as he can to get in front of Reece Belling, who's doing a great job riding reasonably defensively in terms of the line that he's taking. Has a cheeky look over his left shoulder. He sees Simon Reece coming on strong in the latter stages. It's going to go down to a drag race to the checkered flag. It's Reece Belling in front of Simon Reece. I think that's the way it's going to finish up. Yes, indeed it will be. Reece Belling has done enough to be able to take it. He's pretty happy about it as well.
Yeah, great performance there by Reece Belling. Simon Reece pulls up in second spot. Hayden Spinks crosses the line in third. Then it's Jamie Aitken and Callum Barker Davis. And we'll wait for Sam Lambert, the championship leader. He's finished in seventh spot.
Here we go with the AM-Sport 600 Supersport results. Reece Belling ahead of Simon Reece. Hayden Spinks finishes the top three. Jamie Aitken, your top AM-Sport 600 rider. Callum Barker, Grant Davis, Sam Lambert, Keith McCulhey. Then we have Brad Glennon and Adrian Pellegrin rounding up your first page.
Majority of the track, yes. There was a few corners that still had their water in them and going across the track, so the tyres were getting burnt up in some parts of the track, and then others you were slipping and sliding, so it was good.
Yeah, I've got absolutely no idea where I am in the championship after yesterday and today, so but we'll keep trying. Yeah, I think so. If it doesn't rain again, another half an hour, it'll be completely dry, so definitely.
Well, we finally got the bike up to speed where it should be. We had a crash on Friday and that just set us back a whole heap. Yesterday we had problems with the bike all day, and it's good to get the bike sorted before the last race on Sunday afternoon.
Well done to Reece Belling for taking out his second win of the weekend in the Supersports. We'll resume the action with race 3 a little later, but right now it's time for the final AM-Sport 600 standalone race for the season, and we can confirm that following his class win in the last Supersport race, Jamie Aitken is your 2017 champion. So the pressure is now well and truly off the Yamaha rider, as he can now just simply sit back and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Grant Davis will start this race from pole position, with Justin Case and Brad Glennon beside him on the front row. Row 2 has Carl Kitson, Jamie Aitken and Brian Bolster together. The next row consists of Adrian Pellegrin, Keith Mulcahy and Luke Rhodes, with Robbie Tesoriero, Nathan Brumby and Mary Molina on the fourth row. Row 5 is Stuart Kitson, Daniel McCartan and Eduardo Pereira, with row 6 filled out by Noel Mahone, Elias Metri and Robert Galotta. And the final rows are occupied by Cormac O'Mahony, Stuart Green, Eddie Crocker, Brooke Ernest, Greg Nagy and Matthew Franco.
Here we go with the standalone AM-Sport 600. Everybody getting away in indifferent form, you've got to say. But it looks like it's the number 96 of Jamie Aitken that gets the whole shot.
Yeah, Jamie Aitken got a great start there from the second row of the grid. Looks like he's had Justin Case and Grant Davis up the inside there. A big move up into Sydney Motorsport Park ride days.
Second, then third, now second. Make it second. Yes, I want second. He's got second.
Yes.
He was determined to do it, wasn't he? Got the line, forced his way through. Good on him.
Yes, Jamie Aitken out in the front, and the rider going to have to do a lot of work to keep him at bay. But Grant Davis has shown that how fast he is on that ultimate machine, and he's up the inside already. So Grant Davis has taken the lead from Jamie Aitken into turn 5. Dunlop turn 4, get ready to go through the bikebiz.com.au turn.
Yeah, I think Jamie Aitken got a little bit surprised there. Is back in third place is Glennon, Pellegrin, Brumby, McCulhey. He's a little bit further back.
Yes, the top looks like the top 5, top 6 are breaking away a little bit already from the rest of the pack. As the big field of riders negotiate Freight Links Transport turn 9 for the first time. It's Jamie Aitken and Grant Davis right at it already.
Out of turns 11 and 12, the Matrice Dampers corner. Up onto the main straight, the Swann Insurance main straight. And it is Grant Davis that leads at the end of lap 1 ahead of Jamie Aitken. Aitken trying hard to get there. He gets a draft. He goes across the line in front. And Aitken it is that leads down through Races World.
Yeah, good ride there by, look at, here comes Davis though up the inside of Sydney Motorsport Park ride days. Who's going to got the biggest breaks? It looks like Aitken has at the moment.
Well, Aitken forced his way through there. I think you'll find that Davis backed off to make sure that Aitken had the racing room that was necessary. enough respect shown between each rider.
Yes, it's a good ride by these two at the front, but looks like Glennon is staying with them as well, maybe even catching him ever so slightly.
Yeah, this battle at the front has allowed Glennon to get a little bit closer. Pellegrin and Mulcahy having their own little battle for 4th and 5th place. Out of turn 8, down into bikebiz.com.au downhill section, leading into the Freightlinks Transport corner 9, turn 9. Out of there, down Ipone Oils back straight. It's still Jamie Aitken leading this trio of contenders for the top dog position at the end of 6 laps. Through Matrice Dampers they go. They're completing lap 4 of 6, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, so there'll be 2 laps to go when they cross the line, or 3 laps to go. Three laps to go to the end of the race, and it's all those 3 at the front streeting the field. They've actually pulled out a 4.6 second gap from the rider in, what's that, 4th place. That's Pellegrin on his Triumph.
Well, Grant Davis there having a little bit of difficulty steering the bike through turn 1. Had to back off a little bit to straighten the bike up, but it's Aitken, Davis, Glennon, Pellegrin and Mulcahy.
Jamie Aitken maintaining the position out in front. Glennon still there as well. Glennon still holds the fastest lap of the race at 38.4. So this is reminiscent of the 400 Supersport race there, Lance. That's very, very close.
Jamie Aitken got all the pressure on him now. Up the inside goes Grant Davis through bikebiz.com.au. Can he maintain that position now? It will be a case of deja vu in terms of what happened in the 400s, won't it?
Yes, it will. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to be leading coming onto the main straight, would you?
Down Ipone Oils back straight for the last time. Heading into Matrice Dampers for the last time. It is very much a case of deja vu on what happened with the 400s. A good challenge for, well, 90% of the race, and then a runaway victory by the looks of it.
Yeah, the gap has opened up in the last lap of the circuit, but Grant Davis has rode an excellent race here to get the win over Jamie Aitken and Glennon, so it's an excellent last lap for him.
A great race for all 3 of these riders. That's the way they'll finish. Davis, Aitken and Glennon. Adrian Pellegrin, Keith Mulcahy, Matthew Franco, Nathan Brumby, Mary Molina, Eduardo Pereira and Daniel McCartan round up the front row, or the front page I should say.
Yeah, I can't complain with that. Felt really good on the bike then. Didn't in the previous race, but all came together at the right time, I guess. Admittedly, I think I may have had a better tyre than Jamie, but he rode the wheels off that thing all year, so credit to him.
Yeah, we did. We actually wrapped it up with 1 race to go, but yeah, we used old tyres from yesterday. I think it hurt us a little bit in that one, but it was good fun. Grant rode unreal all weekend. All the boys have, so they're all done really well.
We have 1 race to go in the Matrice Dampers Supersports and AM-Sport 600s for 2017, and it's the championship decider. Join us for all the action on the other side of this break. Welcome back to Sydney Motorsport Park for our continued final round coverage of the Swann Super Series. As you can see, the weather conditions have improved significantly as the riders are preparing themselves for the final race of the Supersports and AM-Sport 600s. So whilst the season is about to wrap up today, BikeBiz's pursuit for the best in rider safety continues well into the off-season and beyond. Our series partner always has the latest and greatest available, including their extensive range of AGV helmets.
Hi, I'm Dan from BikeBiz in Granville. I'm the spare parts accessories manager. So I've brought out today the brand new AGV Veloce helmet. It's a new range in Australia, and it's the entry-level, top-of-the-line AGV helmet. It's made out of a combination of different materials, the one being carbon fiberglass. It's light, it's strong, it ticks all the boxes. It can be worn race day and road, so just a really good entry-level helmet. Well, they're affordable. They're a top-of-the-line helmet in an affordable price range, made of the highest quality with all the race features, best visor, best vision, all that sort of stuff. So they're worth considering.
What do you do if you want to get one?
Come down to BikeBiz. They're available online at www.bikebiz.com.au or in store at 274 Parramatta Road in Granville or 7 Great Western Highway in Parramatta.
Well, after 17 races in the Matrice Dampers Supersport AM-Sport 600s, we've arrived at the final race of the season. The AM-Sport 600 title is already wrapped up, leaving the main prize to still be decided. Let's have a look at how they'll line up on the grid. Reece Belling leads the field away off the front row with Simon Rees and Hayden Spinks alongside. Callum Barker heads the second row with Sam Lambert and Keith Feely, with Jimmy Broadbent completing the Supersport field in position 7. AM-Sport 600 champion-elect Jamie Aitken is joined by Grant Davis and Keith Mulcahy on row 4, whilst rows 5 and 6 are occupied by Brad Glennon, Adrian Pellegrin, Daniel McCartan, Nathan Brumby, Mary Molina and Stuart Green.
Green flag now at the back of the grid, so we'll be understart at any second now.
Underway for this third and final Matrice Dampers Supersport AM-Sport 600 race. 4 wide heading down into turn number 1. Callum Barker it is that gets the inside line and the whole shot.
Yeah, great start by Barker on his Suzuki there. Looks like it's that Spinks or Rees, but that looks like it's Rees, then Spinks. Here comes that Jamie Aitken. So Jamie's had a great start.
Who was that went round the outside, slot through the centre of him like a banana popping out of a skin? Momentarily there, Callum Barker had lost the lead. He's got it back again. Is that Spinks on the outside? I think you'll find that it is. And here comes the number 21 of Sam Lambert up the inside of the 47 to take up the running of third place.
Yeah, that's Belling who's moved into second spot, so he's had a great start from the pole position in this encounter. So, but Callum Barker, it's got a bit mugged on the last couple of corners.
Well, he's gone from hero to zero, as the saying goes. He was leading, he's now back in 4th or 5th. Oh, somebody's come off there. Is it 1 or 2 riders? I think it's only 1.
It looks like he's lost his tank there, something fallen off the machine there, so we'll find out who that is. It could be
Mulcahy, was it? Anyway, let's not speculate. Let's wait to see. In the meantime, though, it is Hayden Spinks that's leading. Out of turn 9, down into turn 10, 11 and 12.
Spectacular style, Hayden Spinks, hasn't he? Got the elbow down onto the ground. Then we've got Reece Belling in second, Sam Lambert now in third, Barker's in 4th, Rees is now moved into 5th, and Aitken 6th.
Aitken on that older model, 600 Supersport. What a great effort for him throughout the weekend. Callum Barker up into 4th place now, but the front 3 runners charging away. Sam Lambert there, back in 3rd place. Reece Belling in 2nd. But it's all Hayden Spinks that leads at this stage.
Yeah, Hayden won a race at the first round of the year here, Lance, so it's no shock to see him out in front there leading this race, and be good points for him as well if he gets out the win. But look at Reece Belling and Sam Lambert getting very impatient behind them.
Yeah, excuse me, groaning in the background. I thought Sam Lambert was going to T-bone him down into the beginning of the left-right combination, or right-left combination known as Dunlop Sportsmax. Reece Belling in the meantime takes up the running ahead of Hayden Spinks, Sam Lambert, Callum Barker behind him. Then we go a little bit further back in the field and you'll find that it is I think Simon Rees and Jamie Aitken battling it out for 5th and 6th, no, 6th and 7th. Now to the outside of Spinks, can he do it? Unable to.
Yeah, it's a long way around there through turn 2 going through Sydney Motorsport Park ride days. But bit of a gap there now between those 3 riders. Belling is going great out at the front at the moment.
So Reece Belling on board machine number 61. He's been at the forefront of the action throughout the entire weekend on board the LXI Racing Trilec Services Yamaha R6.
Yeah,
look,
he's had a great weekend, hasn't he, that Belling? But look at the gap they've got now onto who's that? Looks like Rees has got the better of Barker, and Aitken's right on the tail of the young Queenslander now.
Out of 7, 8 into 9. Lambert consistently tries to poke his nose up the inside of Spinks. Reece Belling, look at him, snap his neck. He almost broke it the way he turned his head around there, looking to see how close they are. I'm sure he can hear them, but he wanted to see them.
Yes, he's having a good ride at the moment with Hayden Spinks sitting right there. Sam Lambert, who's been the dominating factor of this year in the Supersport class, is sitting right there, and having a great ride on the ex-Callum Spriggs championship winning bike.
Yeah, and of course, triple X rated suspension helping him out as Spinks snaps up the inside. Belling in second. Sam Lambert in third, tries the outside run again. No place for the faint-hearted there. He can't get away with it though.
This is trying very hard into that part of the track. There isn't the same sort of action as last time around, but Hayden Spinks out in front at the moment, having a great ride.
Here's a replay of that slipstreaming down the Swann Insurance main straight that allowed Spinks to get up the inside of Belling. Belling in turn tried to snap back to the inside again. Now while that's all been happening, Lambert has got the upper hand of Belling and is now chasing Spinks, who's leading.
Yes, it's a big move there by Sam Lambert, who was getting very impatient there. Look at that's Rees pulling away from Barker and Aitken.
And right behind Barker and Aitken, we have Davis and Glennon involved in their own battle for 7th and 8th placing.
Oh, I was going to say here comes Lambert, but no, pulled back a bit going through Freight Links Transport turn 9, very wide there by Belling to stay on the lucky to stay on the circuit.
He was, but he needed to do that, I think, Tim, to be able to get the drive. He'd gone wide. Keep that throttle wide open as much as you can. Miss the grass and the dirt, and you'll be right.
That's right. Hayden Spinks is riding fantastic at the moment. Fastest lap of the race is 17.6 for him. But let's see what Lambert can do this time down the front straight, if he can use the slipstream to his advantage.
Spinks down the inside of Lambert. Lambert, in the meantime, leans over enough to be able to take up the running now.
Yes, Sam Lambert now moves into the lead of this race, and
I thought squirrely under brake. Sorry, Tim. I thought Lambert was going to have to go on straight ahead there. Let's have a replay here, looking at how Sam Lambert slipstreamed Hayden Spinks to perfection.
But Lambert's really got some drive coming down into Sydney Motorsport Park ride days.
This is lap 6 of 7, the penultimate lap of the final race of the final round. And Sam Lambert it is that's leading just ahead of Hayden Spinks. Reese Belling dropped off a little bit. Simon Rees in 4th and Callum Barker in 5th place.
Yeah, Sam Lambert has just got the fastest lap at 36.9, so slightly faster than Spinks and Belling, and you can see that on the circuit.
Sam Lambert puts in the fastest lap. He's answered the call, a 1:36.910. Some 0.1 of a second quicker than what Spinks did last time around.
Yeah, he's had a mixed year, hasn't he? Like he's crashed at in the first race here, and he's crashed at Queensland too. So done very good to stay at the top of the title chase. Dare
I say it, when he's done well, he's done very well. When he's done poorly, he's done very poorly.
Yes, that's right. Look at Barker's closing down onto Rees now as well, taking Jamie Aitken with him.
Down into Sydney Motorsport Park ride days for the final time. Sam Lambert leading Hayden Spinks. Reese Belling still in with a chance.
Yeah, 36.8 for Belling now, so he's faster than both the riders in front, so maybe it's not close enough.
Each of these riders, Spinks firstly, then Lambert, then Belling, have all put in a fastest lap of the race on the last three circuits.
Yes, they've done well, but it looks like Sam Lambert may have got this one off the bag if he can stay on the bike, but wouldn't count out Hayden Spinks having a big move, maybe coming down into turn 9 Freight Links Transport.
Well, if either of those or both of them get tangled up in that battle, Reese Belling is there waiting to pounce on the opportunity. Out of the back of Corporate Hill, here comes Belling up the inside of Spinks. Oh, he did himself no favours. Spinks up the inside now of Sam Lambert.
Yes, Lambert went very wide there, and look at here comes Belling as well. He might have another look up the inside of Sam Lambert, but it's going to be a drag race to the line to see who gets this win for the last race of the year for the 600 class.
Heading out of the final turn, Matrice Dampers down the main straight, the Swann Insurance main straight. I think you'll find that Hayden Spinks has done enough. He's going to take it out. Here comes Reese Belling up the inside of Sam Lambert. He's absolutely livid with him. himself as Sam Lambert. He knows that he's tossed this one away, so Spinks, Belling and Lambert in that order. Across the line for fourth is Reese, Barker in fifth and Aitken taking out sixth place. Sam Lambert knows that he's done enough to be able to take out this championship. He's pretty happy about all of that, and he's waving to the crowd accordingly.
So it's well done to Hayden Spinks, who takes out the final race of the season ahead of Reese Belling and our new Supersport champion, Sam Lambert. Simon Reese finishes fourth ahead of Callum Barker in fifth. Then it's Jamie Aitken, Grant Davis, Brad Glennon, Keith Mulcahy and Robbie Tesserero. Well, Sam Lambert did it the hard way this weekend, but he has certainly earned this championship, having been the dominant rider for much of the season. And now it's time to celebrate. So after 6 hard-fought rounds, here are the final points. It's congratulations to Sam Lambert, who is your 2017 Supersport champion aboard his Yamaha R6. It's a massive well done too to Hayden Spinks, who has catapulted himself to finish second in the championship, 36 points adrift. Callum Barker drops to third overall after a disappointing final round, with Simon Reese and Ryan Sellen completing the top 5. In the AM-Sport 600 standings, Jamie Aitken takes home the top honours by a whopping 62 points ahead of Grant Davis. Carl Kitson finishes the season in third overall ahead of Brian Bolster and Adrian Pellegrin, who complete the top 5.
Oh, really good. I had the pressure on me all weekend because the boys have been at an awesome pace. I got to give it to them. They've all given me a good run this whole year. So no, it's good credit to them, and big thanks to Chris Jones from Triple X Rated Suspension. He got this bike handling on rails, and yeah, thanks.
Oh, it would be good to get second in the championship, but yeah, as the conditions dried out a little bit, we started to get a bit faster, started to get the bike sorted. So obviously saving the best till last when it matters.
Yeah, you know, in race one, obviously it was wet. Had the new Dunlop's rear on the back, a little bit different profile to what I had been running on the Pirellis, and it just didn't work for me with the setup. But you know, Kristen did, I guess you could say, throwing it down the road at 5 earlier today. But you know, decent result nonetheless.
Well, folks, that brings to a close the Supersports and AM-Sport 600s for 2017. A huge thank you to Shock Treatment Suspension, the national distributor for Matrice dampers, for their support throughout the year. But the racing action from the final round here at Sydney Motorsport Park of the Swann Super Series is not yet done, as we have our major support categories still to come. We hope you can join us again then.